Hey guys, welcome to The Identity Shift. Welcome back to Identity Shift. Here with your girl Tia Upshaw, and today we have a great guest, Katie Kelley. I'm going to call her KK. Katie is the owner and operator of Maritime Interpreting and Translation. Did I get it right?
Yes. Maritime Interpreting and Translation.
Oh, okay. That was a tongue twister for me. I was practicing last night, and I was like, I'm going to get that wrong.
It's a long one.
It is, but I love it anyways. Thank you very much, Katie, for coming in today. I'm really excited to have a conversation with you. I mean, every time we get together, it is laughs and it is good conversations. Let the viewers and the listeners know who is Katie Kelley and what type of business is that. Let them know what it is.
Yeah, so I'm the CEO and founder of Maritime Interpreting and Translation, and we help people be heard and understood through language services. So we have a team of 91.
Say what?
We have a team of 91, and we provide service in over 50 languages. So if you find yourself in a situation where you can't understand what's being said, we can help you.
91?
91. Yeah, with the majority of them being located here in Halifax. We've got our 37 here in Halifax, and the rest of them are spread out across Canada.
I love it. I love it. And you're a woman. Like, I love everything about that.
Which is unheard of for this industry.
Well, number one, for this province, too, because the province is so, like, stuffy.
Oh,
and they don't.
Stuffy.
Yeah, I'm going to be nice about it. The province is very stuffy and conservative, and they don't really see the need of something like this. So to know that you have such a huge team, which means you're going to have a huge impact. At what point did you realize this was a critical, business or critical service and a need for here?
Our story is a little different than most business owners.
Oh, let's hear it.
Well, I was introduced to the immigration world. I have an HR background. So
boring background.
Boring background, but it was my job to help businesses see where they needed help, step in and either write policies and procedures or just retrain staff. I received a call one afternoon from a lady that I know, another colleague, and she said, Katie, we've got this company that needs your help. They're a not-for-profit. They've been operating since 1980 in the HRM, and they're going under. So I said, well, I'm really not, looking to take on any new projects, but I said, I'll go sit and meet with them. Within 10 minutes of meeting the president and vice president of that organization, I fell in love with what they do.
Wow.
I fell in love with wanting to help people. So I helped them. For the next 3 years, I helped build the business back up, restore some of their contracts, and then unfortunately COVID hit.
Oh, that was just recently.
Correct. So due to COVID, and in a business where it was governed by board of directors, half the board of directors were stuck in their home countries, couldn't get back into Canada. Make a long story short, they had an election. It made it all one language, all one region of the world. And with no planes flying, no immigration happening, there was no money coming into the business.
Absolutely, yeah.
No more government funding. And the business, unfortunately, had to close with no notice to vendors, no notice to interpreters. So I had been receiving calls. This was in May of 2021. By July 2021, I had received so many calls from community leaders, from organizations, from government, saying you must know somebody that can help us. We're in such a need. There's people that are in these Department of Community Services situations that are not having their voices heard.
No.
They're not being understood, and we need to find somebody. So I sat down after that phone call, and I just looked at my husband. And he knows me because we've been together for over 20 years. He just looked at me, and I knew he was
saying,
thinking,
what the hell? What is she thinking?
And he said, do it. And I said, do what? He said, start your own business. I said, this is unheard of. Number one, I'm Scottish. I'm Caucasian. I only speak English. But what I wanted to do was help people. I'd felt the impacts at my short time at Nova Scotia Interpreting Services that I wanted to help people. So in July 17th, we just celebrated our third birthday.
Oh, do you have an event?
We did not have an event.
Why?
Because we're working on a bigger one for the fall.
Okay, keep me up to date.
Details to be soon. Yeah. So we just celebrated our third year in business, and it feels good because we're helping people.
Yeah.
We're taking away that one barrier because language is a huge barrier, especially when you enter a country and you don't know the language.
Facts.
And then you have to deal with the biases, the racist connotations, just the attitudes, period, of you came to our country, you have to acclimate.
Oh, God, you know that
well,
is, yeah.
Give them a little bit of time to acclimate and let us help them so there's no confusion or miscommunication.
So you just had this, epiphany. Your husband was supportive. Shout out, what's your husband's name?
Tim.
Shout out to Tim, because we need more men like that. And you just went off the ground with it.
Yeah, I went off the ground with it. So the first thing I did, of course, with my HR background, is I wrote down all the policies and procedures that I felt my organization
that must have
needed.
took, oh my God.
Well, it was a lot of work, and I did a lot of homework and a lot of research. I used a couple of research companies because I wanted to make sure that we were doing it right. I wanted to set it up different than other agencies have been set up.
Ooh, I love that.
Because we are a woman-owned and operated business. We drive female empowerment. That's our goal.
Yeah.
So I did all the policies and procedures. Then the next thing I did is I got all the licensing. And that was strictly, it was expensive. We used all love money. Didn't get loans from anywhere. I was being denied at the banks because I was a woman. I wasn't in business long enough. I couldn't prove impact statements from my community, even though I live in Fairview, which is the most diverse community in all of Halifax.
I was going to say that because I knew you lived in Fairview. So I'm like, that community is, when I say there's no other diverse community, it's Fairview.
It is. And the best food. Oh, my God.
You can go down Titus. You can go. Oh, my God. It's like, I'm going to get real fat down here.
That's right. Today I'm going for African. Tomorrow I'm going for Mediterranean. It's just, and it's so good. And everybody's so welcoming to one another.
But they are. I know I go to DP Pearls often, Blessings shop there on Titus. And then I look down like, do I need some puff today? Do I want some jollof rice? Like, it's so bad. I go for one thing and I end up, not at KFC, I end up at one of the local, businesses.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's great. And you can walk and have all the flavors in the world.
And I knew you were from Fairview. It didn't click in until recently. And that's why she's so cool, because she's not like, uppity. She is Caucasian. She is a white girl, but she is cool, guys.
I came from extremely humble backgrounds.
Yeah.
So I am one of 8 children.
Oh, kudos to your mom and dad.
Well, no, we grew up in foster care.
Oh.
So I made my own path in this way.
Very humble beginnings.
Very, very humble beginnings. I fought for everything I had, including my education. And yeah, I consider myself not a powerful woman, but a powerhouse woman. And I think there's a big difference.
Huge difference.
So yeah, we love what we do.
No, you do. And I the first time I met you, you didn't even know who I was. You came up to me, and it was like almost like you pitched to me to tell me exactly who you were, what your business was, and I was like, whoa, okay. I didn't even know this existed.
Yes.
And I say that with all due respect, and the reason I say I didn't know it existed, and I feel like I should have, is not because I'm a black woman from Nova Scotia, because my fiance is Jamaican. I have friends who are from Liberia, from Nigeria, all across the world, even my Vietnamese friends. And I took for granted the barriers they have when they come here.
They go through a lot, especially those who are coming here on a refugee status as opposed to an immigration status.
Status matters.
Status does matter. Unfortunately, in the immigration world, it is if you have money, you can come. As soon as your money runs out, you've got to leave, unless you've made a business for yourself. Whereas refugees are just kind of thrust. They have no choice on which country they go to.
It's so true.
It's whoever is going to, take them. And it's really, really sad. It breaks my heart to hear some of the landing stories.
I don't like hearing them, actually. And I listen to it often. And I don't mean to cut you off there. But even for my staff, people know my staff. I have 2 who are African Nova Scotia now. Everybody else, even from the beginning, has been immigrants, or they're here students. And I keep saying to them, I know there's language barriers and whatnot, but please be yourself. Yes. Like, I don't want them to clean up their language so well that they have to feel like they have to speak a certain way.
That is my biggest pet peeve, is when I get a request for an interpreter or translator with no accent. I'm like, are you kidding me?
How can that even
How
happen?
can that happen? And it does happen. I've not to put Nova Scotia judges on blast, but we had a judge in a small rural community that kept asking me to send an interpreter with no accent. It was a Punjabi language.
They have an accent.
The person was so highly educated; they were probably more highly educated than the judge sitting on his bench. And so they disrespected her. So I stepped in.
Oh, gosh.
Now, a lot of times I have my interpreters and translators that they're scared to create waves.
Yeah.
They are new to the country. They know if they even get into one little trouble or a speeding ticket, that can jeopardize everything, and they could be sent away. I'm not. I was born here. I might be only 5'2", but I've got a loud voice. I've got a loud voice.
Absolutely.
And I will stand up for my talent team or anybody else around me that I feel is either being A, bullied, B, disrespected, or if somebody's being culturally inappropriate to somebody.
Oh, my God.
It drives me crazy.
Absolutely nuts. I can never sit by. Like, people will probably look and they watch me on LinkedIn and social media and they're just like, oh my God, T is always ranting about something. And it's because there's always some injustices going on. There's always some bullying going on. There's always something that people are doing and saying that are inappropriate. And I just I cannot stomach it. I can't sit there and be like, oh, it's not my business. Correct. I will call them out.
I love that you do that. Every time I see your post, and I'm like,
here she goes. What happened?
And I'm like, good for her. And my husband has applauded you as well, too, saying, if
damn.
it wasn't for women like you and community leaders like yourself, who would be standing up for those who can't stand up for themselves?
And it's so true, because a lot of what I do, people talk about it. Like, they talk about what they wish they could do or I should do or not, but none of them have done it. And I came out and I started doing it. So not only am I, celebrating Black women and helping them through entrepreneurship, but I'm advocating for them too, for a safe space, right? And that's how I met you, actually, in the same situation. I think it was at Mena Riley's networking event. Her first one, wasn't it?
The very first one.
First one.
That was many years ago.
Yeah, and I was sweaty and it was so cool. And then ever since seeing you at these networking events, I'm like, if she's not here, like, I'll be upset. Because, I don't know a lot of other women, even if they're white women in business, that I actually conversate with. So I always look for, like, the Katies. I'm like, where's she at? And then if I see you, I'm just like, hey, girl.
Right? I get excited when I see you at events, and I love going to these networking events where women are feeling empowered.
Bad bitches, yeah.
I am like hugging everybody. I'm
everybody.
high-fiving. I'm like, girl, look at you. You look fabulous.
You're doing a thing.
You have to show kindness. And I was not shown kindness in my life.
Well, foster care, I can't imagine.
I was in some situations that I'd rather soon forget, but I don't, because that's who makes me who I am.
Yeah.
And I am stronger because of it. I've got a voice because of it. And right now I have the best support system ever. And then there's my girls. So at Maritime Interpreting and Translation, out of our team of 91, we only have 4 males.
Shout out to all of the powerhouse women.
Driven, and we want it that way. The reason that we have 4 males is because we respect certain religions and cultures.
Yes.
I'm not going to send a female Muslim interpreter into Burnside Corrections or
that's not going to work.
Yeah. That's not going to work. They're going to be intimidated. They're not going to be comfortable to do their jobs, and that's not a position I want to put them in.
Yeah.
I have interpreters who are allowed to work with me only because their husbands, fathers, grandfathers, uncles, brothers have said so.
Yes.
I have been interviewed by whole families, but I do it.
Yeah.
I do it not because I feel like I'm being disrespected as a woman. I do it because I want to help these women earn a living with their voice.
Oh, yeah, and feel good about it. Create the impact, yeah.
They're doing this work for free in their communities anyway. Why shouldn't they get paid for it?
Facts. Oh, my goodness, I love that. I never knew that part of the business either. And I took it for granted. Like, many of us have to sit back and be accountable and say, everything that she's saying, I took for granted, because I would never think that they have to get permission to work for you.
Yeah.
They have to. I would never think.
A lot of them aren't even allowed to discipline their own children.
Yeah, so that's different.
And I mean, we've seen these scenarios when we're in a Winners or a Walmart.
Oh, yes, it's so true.
And this is where we find ourselves educating clients a lot on the importance of clear communication, why it's so necessary. So, for example, take the medical industry. Okay. This is where, before I even got into this business, I had an experience. I was in another country. I had been enjoying in some libations.
Okay.
I broke my wrist. Had to go to a hospital. I don't speak Spanish, or I didn't speak any of it at the time. I couldn't understand what they were saying. We didn't have Google Translate on our phones yet at that time.
Oh, that was...
It was chaotic. I have major drug allergies. I'm allergic to codeine and morphine. They will both kill me. In a lot of emergency situations, the first thing they do is administer morphine.
Yeah, because it's pain. It's the painkiller of choice.
So I was panicking. I was trying to recall like any 10th grade Spanish I had ever learned in my head. And they ended up giving me morphine. And they ended up having to give me a bunch of other needles to counteract that. So I almost died in the Dominican is what I like to say.
Oh, my God.
And it was because of miscommunication. And then I started opening my eyes up and thinking, how would I feel if somebody just plopped me in the middle of like Shanghai or in Nigeria? How would I feel?
You wouldn't feel good.
I don't speak Mandarin.
Scared.
I don't speak Nigerian pidgin. You know, it's terrifying. And you see the looks on people's faces here. One of our saddest things that we have to deal with is a lot of Department of Community Services calls.
Ugh.
They are our largest vendor. And we've remained keeping them as our vendors because they help people and we want to help people. But a lot of the times, Canadian culture doesn't look to other cultures. They don't understand simple things as how we raise our children differently.
Yes.
In a lot of countries, things that we do here in the Western world are not acceptable.
And that is facts.
You're not allowed to, for example, my children were born in the early 90s. If I wanted to give them a little crack on the butt,
Absolutely.
I did so. If you do that nowadays, and then you're getting Department of Community Services called on you, you're getting the police called on you, so then these families find themselves, or because there was a misinterpretation at a school meeting, and the teacher or the principal felt that the parent was too aggressive because they didn't understand the language.
I seen that, and it was with the Syrian family, actually,
Yes.
not too long ago. And it was at my daughter's high school.
Yeah.
I want to say a year ago now. And we didn't understand the language, and I'm pretty sure the school didn't, the principal, the secretary, no one understood the language. But the child got in trouble, so the mother came down hard. And in their culture, the way they speak, it may sound aggressive.
Correct.
None of us knew what they were saying, but guess what happened?
Department of Community Services got called.
It was a big thing.
Child protection.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I was there when this happened. I don't even know what she was saying, so how does anybody else?
Right.
She was yelling at her child. Obviously, if it was me, and I said this to the school, I said, it's funny, you know who to call DCS on. Because I've done this plenty of times. You can hear exactly what I'm saying to my child. Yeah. And I don't care because she's not going to run my house and she's not going to run you guys.
Correct, because they're children.
But you did that to this. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. To a mother.
I've seen it.
So they take all the rights and then they throw them into these parenting courses and then they're spending about
$3,000
a month
yeah.
on interpreting services. And it's just a vicious circle. Instead of, finding out what the root cause was, understanding the cultural differences. And that's the big one. Our interpreters spend so much time on their assignments.
I was going to ask that question. Actually. How do you ensure that your interpreters are doing what needs to be done the same way that you would?
We're very fussy in our hiring process. Because I have that HR background.
You don't play around.
I don't play around. I don't use interpreters from my competitor here because we have different philosophies, different principles. For me, it's not all about the bottom dollar.
Yeah, you're more of a social impact. Like what you're doing. Yeah, I know it's a business, but if they didn't listen to this interview and someone didn't really get the foundation of what you do, they would say it is a social impact. This is probably, a social enterprise or a non-for-profit because you care. Because usually you don't put caring and profits together.
No, but we do it right. Our interpreters are also the highest paid east of Calgary. That's how we're able to retain the top talent. I pay them what they're worth and take less on my end. Because in the end, I know I'm going to make that up in volume of business.
You will.
And even though we're still considered in our infancy at our third year, we're growing rapidly.
Oh, well, 91. Yeah. Like, that's just one statement, 91. There.
91. 52 languages in total so far.
Oh, my God.
By 2025, we want to have almost 200. We want to be able to help any single
Oh my
person
God.
who calls our office or hits us up on our website, that we can help you. We can help you be heard. We can help you be understood.
I feel like, you do work with DCS, but I really feel like you guys, DCS should be all DCS across Canada should be contracting you guys, period.
We're servicing 4 provinces for Department of Community Services
Okay,
right now.
so that's good.
Yeah.
Yes. Are we getting into the jails too?
We are. Yeah, we're just starting, which kind of makes me a little bit nervous because I do have to hire some males. And no disrespect to the 4 that I do have, but
they're not ready for that.
They're not ready.
Yeah.
They're not ready for me telling them what to do, and I
know.
And that's one of the biggest barriers that I run into. Even men who have been born here, raised
Girl,
here,
speak it.
like they look at me like I'm just this tiny little woman that needs rescuing. And let me tell you, I'm the one who could rescue their butts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Butts.
It's
because,
hard for
yeah.
it's hard. It's the way our Western society is. Yeah. Women are not. We're made to be protected. We're not the protectors, right? So the minute as a woman puts her foot down and she says something to a man, or kind of, I don't hire men either because I know it would be difficult. That's one thing why I haven't taken Black women in excellence and did Black men in excellence. In the Black community, to be told what you're doing wrong from a Black woman to a Black man, it's not going to go well.
No.
And I don't want to butt heads. I don't want to be in argumentative situations all the time where I'm just trying to teach somebody something. So I know exactly.
Right?
I know what you're saying.
Stand up. It's like
it gives me anxiety. I don't want to do it because I know where it's going to go, and they're not trying to be disrespectful, but it's the way
it's their culture.
It is.
It's the way we've been raised. I mean, if you think about it, when I was born in 73, women were just getting rights.
Not 73. You're
I am 50 years young. Yeah.
And you're hanging with the best of them. Like you're out there.
Yes. Because age doesn't matter to me.
Absolutely not.
Gender doesn't matter to me. Fluidity doesn't matter to me. And culture matters to me, but the color of someone's skin does not.
Oh my God. I didn't know you were.
Yeah, my girlfriends like to say that I'm Jamaican. They say that I'm half Canadian, half Jamaican, so they call me Jamaican. And I run with that. Yeah, I'm a cheerleader for a soccer team in Jamaica.
Are you
That's
really?
Right. Yeah, the Bar Strikers squad. Yeah, man, it's no problem.
Oh my God.
I have my green and yellow cheerleading outfit, and yes.
Okay, we need to connect later on because I didn't know these little tidbits of ya.
Yes, I just like to be out there.
You
and
do.
I love to experience culture, and I love to experience food. And in Canada, I grew up in Alberta originally. That's where I was from. Old boys town.
Yeah.
You know, if they didn't agree with anything, it was just wrong. Everything was wrong. Even if it was right, it was wrong.
Yeah.
And I always had, they used to tell me I had such a big mouth. And why are you going over here? And why are you going over there? Don't talk to those people.
I can't imagine they said that about you.
Oh, my God. Don't talk to those people. You stick there over here. And it's like, no, I will talk to whoever
I want. Want.
And that's it. You're not going to stop me from being me. And I love to connect with people, I love hearing people's stories. I love hearing about people.
And what they're doing.
What they're doing.
And you do celebrate, like, people, like, very subtly, but very pronounced. Like, you do, like, when I watch you on LinkedIn, the reshares, and especially when it comes to women,
yes,
you are all for it.
Yes. You've got to be. If women don't start, we've ran this world pretty much for years and gone unnoticed. Behind every great male leader, there is a woman
right there.
There's a woman. There is a woman that is laying down with him at night, having pillow talk, discussing the events of the day, and getting him through, keeping that crown on his head, even though hers might be falling off a little bit.
Tilted to the side.
So that's why I love what we do. Not only do we help people be heard and understood, but we help women, we empower our communities.
Exactly.
And we get to show people that it's okay to be you. Just because you come here doesn't mean you have to change everything about you. Because if you do change everything about you, then we're going to become the United States. And I don't want that. We are Canadian.
I can't imagine Girl, you just gave me chills even referencing the United States with Canada because it's true.
It's true. We're very different countries. Toronto likes to think sometimes that they're the United States, and they're not.
A lot of the time. You're not. Times,
you know, when we travel, we often hear, oh, you're from Canada, so you're from Toronto. We're like, no, we're from Halifax. Well, where's that? We're like, how have you never heard of Halifax?
Well, there's a lot of people that I know, too, that are Black, and there's like, oh, I never knew there were Black people in Nova Scotia. And I said, we have the largest black population. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, let's jump on a Zoom so I can show you the maps. I can show you each community. Like, I said, the Preston Township is the biggest one. Like, but and they just never knew. They never knew.
Cape Breton, Pictou, Guysborough, Antigonish. You never know. But when I talk to my Jamaican friends, they all know.
They all know, yeah.
They all know Halifax.
Yeah.
If you say Calgary, they're like, where's that?
Or how do you say that? Yeah. I remember my fiance when he first started coming here. It'll be 11 years now. We've been together. And he used to call Agricola Street Agricola and Dartmouth. And it was, I'm like, babe, he was like, Tia, I'm saying it how it sounds. And I'm not going to get him to pronounce any provinces no more. Antigonish, oh my God, he couldn't even say that. Miramichi, it was insane.
It's different.
But they do know, and they always reference to Jamaican Maroons.
So do you speak patois?
No.
I do a little.
And I never ever tried.
I do a little.
I can understand it. I was just saying to my staff, because Tashana's Jamaican and show is Shanika. And I was saying this to Shanika last night. I said, this is a day, because I was upset about something. This is the time and day I wish I could speak patois. And I don't know why I never learned. Now, understanding it clear as day. But I've never, ever learned how to speak it. Because I feel that when you tell somebody off in patois, it hits harder. Yeah. When I see Jamaican women argue with one another, I'm like, if that was said in, correct English, that wouldn't land well. No. But this landed.
It's okay.
I caught the shade.
That's right. Yeah, it's okay.
Well, lucky you. I don't know. Someday, I mean, I said to my fiance, like, I can understand you. Does it bug you that I don't speak it? He was like, nah. The same way you tell me to be me when I'm in Canada and not change my accent and don't try to be white is the same way you're Tia.
Right.
Just the way you talk is okay too.
And I love that about you is you are unapologetically
always. You always know what to get with me. Right? You never have to question like who's she going to be today.
Yeah.
I'm the same goddamn person every time you guys see me.
That's right.
Every event, same thing. Like it never changes. Only thing that may change is that I could be tired. But I mean,
that just means that you're on the right path because you're busy.
Oh, God, I got to tell people I'll sleep when I'm dead. I will sleep when I'm dead. I have a question, with regards to this type of business. What were 3 your biggest challenges? Because it couldn't have been just, you started, you did your policies, and you came out right out the gate.
Yeah, my biggest challenge was financing.
Really? For something like that?
For something like that. Because I wanted to make sure that I had every system in place so that when I started sending interpreters out, I was able to pay them instantly.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean. Yeah.
And that didn't happen. But I have such an amazing team that agreed to work with me that they did the work and they waited until I got paid till they got paid because they had the faith in me. So I think financial was one of the biggest barriers. The second largest barrier is I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I am a woman and I hire women. And that turns people off. They either love me and they applaud me.
Or they hate you, girl.
Or they hate me. And that's okay. They can drink the haterade all they want. I'm not down for that.
I get it all the time.
I see it. And like my husband says, not everybody's going to like you. Well, I used to take that personally. Now
I don't lose sleep.
I have zero left to give.
Yeah, none.
And but it was being told by immigrants that I'm not going to make this business thing. You don't know anybody. You can't make this happen. We've already got somebody that does this. Da, da, da. Well, that's fine that you have somebody to do this, but listen to what our business does. Listen to the quality of the people that we help. Listen to our vendors, what they have to say about us. We are professional. Our interpreters show up on time. And that's a huge barrier, especially with dealing with different cultures. Some cultures, I book their appointments half an hour before they're supposed to be there.
Well, because that's
their culture.
30 minutes, that means I'm on time.
It's no problem. It's no problem.
I call that Jamaican time because my fiance will say soon come, which means
everybody slow down.
He didn't even leave yet.
No.
I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, soon come.
I
We're
love you,
going.
babe, but I can't take that, the long-windedness. For me, that would, well, 3-year barriers, totally get them, totally agree with them. The biggest one would be the hiring all women, because I didn't know that your whole team, except for 4 men, were women.
Yeah.
And I know the backlash I get, and I got 8 women.
Yeah.
Like, why do you always hire women? And it's not about because I'm pro-woman that I'm anti anything else. Doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that I just want a team of empowered women to empower more women.
Correct. And that's why I hire them, so I can empower them to go out and do better in their communities.
Absolutely.
Whether they're interpreting or not, even if they're just going to church. I have some female interpreters that they were really quiet.
Really?
Very soft spoken, very.
How are they now?
Oh
Being
my
around
God.
you.
They're like KK. Woo!
Yeah.
You know, they're like KK. They walk in, they've got that confidence. They know what they're there to do. They're the professional, and nobody around them is going to tell them how to do their job. And it's so empowering to watch them. It is empowering to watch women who have been able to make money through their voice to be able
It
to
is.
leave bad situations.
It is.
Because now that a lot of them have come here, they don't have to continue to also put up with certain situations, like abuses
Yeah,
from their
the bullshit's
husbands.
gone.
The bullshit's gone.
Yeah.
Welcome to Canada. Here you are a woman. Let's hear you
Let's-
roar.
yeah.
Let's go. And
Wow.
what can I do to help you facilitate? I have an interpreter right now who is going for her master's in psychology. And she wants to help other immigrant women going through things coming here.
Kudos to her.
And I've wrote her every letter of recommendation you could think of, short of sponsoring her school payments myself, because I just can't afford that yet.
Yeah, I love that word.
Because when we can, we
You
will
will.
do a scholarship. We will, because and that's our goal. And I have 2 daughters myself.
How old are your daughters?
My oldest daughter is 29.
Oh, same age as my son.
And she is a force to be reckoned with.
Just like her mother.
You know, she is my mini-me. She doesn't take shit. My husband is definitely a girl dad. So our girls were raised with,
Yep.
like, you can do anything a man can do.
Yeah, and better.
And better. And my youngest child is 22 and in her 4th year of medical school.
Congratulations.
On a full ride scholarship.
Congratulations, Cal.
So she's at
Katie,
Ottawa University. I couldn't be more proud of her, and she is a take no nonsense girl herself.
Any cancers in there? Any birthdays in June, like July? Any cancer signs?
No.
None of yours?
No.
Oh, Leos?
We are in April. My daughter's a diamond. She
Okay.
bright like a diamond. My other one is an emerald, May.
Wow.
And then I have a 31-year-old son. He is autistic, and he lives at home.
Oh, that's totally cool.
He will always live at home. But we're good with that, and his sisters are his voice.
Absolutely. I'm saying he doesn't even need to have a voice at this
He
point.
doesn't need to have a voice because his sisters are at voice. So in raising strong women,
It
we
takes a
empower.
strong woman to raise strong women, though.
Oh, but
So-
don't get me wrong. I'm not always strong.
Oh, no,
still
not.
go
Oh,
home.
listen and
I
cry.
You know, because before I used to scream, and now I don't scream. I just cry.
Yeah, before I used to kick walls.
Yeah, and that's not the version I want
No.
to be of myself. I've learned how to harness my frustrations and work through them, and it was a lot of self work.
Girl, don't I know
A
about
lot.
that. Self-love, self-work.
Self-love. Self-love is so important, and that's the hard one. You know, because sometimes I take a step back and I look at everything we've done and the awards that we've won already. I was just named Most Compassionate CEO of 2024.
Well, God, oh my God, you're killing me right now because that's one thing I'm going to work on in 2025 is my lack of compassion I have for people. I'm more of an accountability person. Like the compassion part, yeah, I feel bad when things happen, but then I'm just like, okay, let's get it together. Let's move forward, right? And I said in this day and age, in this generation that's coming in, especially through my staffing, that I have to work on the compassionate piece. But I wasn't raised that way. I was raised by my grandmother, old school, and yeah. You get it done. No matter what's going on, you break a leg, you get up and you go. Right. You still make sure you get it
That's
done.
right, because your other leg is still working.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, but things have changed. So I said in 2025, I'm gonna definitely work on it. So congratulations.
Thank you.
For that. That's a huge thing. I am when I get off here. Well, I wouldn't say your team. I will say it takes a strong person to step back and say that I need to be compassionate. I need to engage, and I need to be intentional, put into my business. You don't have to do that. You can do it at home, but you don't have to put it into your business and your staff, but you do it. So it's a big thing. When I get off of here, I'm definitely, because I know the Halifax Chamber of Commerce nominations are open. And I'm just like, I know who else. I've been nominating people left, right, and center, but I'm like, now I know who else I'm going to be nominating today.
That would be amazing.
So that would be, I would love to see you on that stage in January because it's well deserved.
And I love a good stage.
You do. You don't even, girl, stop it. You don't even need a stage. You be on a flat ground like this, and you be strutting and walking and smiling and laughing.
That's
and
right. I make friends wherever I go.
You literally do. Yeah. And I watch. There's times that I'm not even like talking to you, and I'm just talking to someone else, and I'll watch you. I'm like, she's a bad bitch. Like she just is out there, and you're creating a name for yourself. Yeah, I'm definitely going to make sure that you're on the stage. Make sure that your voice is going to continue to be heard because. You are a force to be reckoned with, like I said earlier. And for me, I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your business. I like you personally, so it's not just a business thing. And I can't say that about many people. You. Some people, I'm just like, it's only business. Right. But like personally, like I actually can hang out with you. I can go, eat. I don't drink no more. I cut that out in April.
We'll go to Westfall and get some food.
Oh my God! I'm a foodie. I'm a foodie.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely. I do have a question though. What's next for the business? What you may not want to tell because it's probably secretive. But I want to know what's next.
So we just finished doing an amazing project for Black People's History in Canada.
Oh, did
with
you?
Dr. Cooper.
Oh, yes. You were telling me about that back in March, I think it was.
Yeah, we started it and we finished it now. We translated their website from English into French so it can be accessible to more people, especially
the Francophone in the Black community. Like it's lacking here, though. The supports for them is lacking here. So kudos to you.
Absolutely. And we're talking with the Black Business Initiative on a couple of projects now. Our largest thing now is we want to get teams set up on the ground across Canada.
Damn, that's a big.
Right. The province of Nova Scotia is the only place that we're offering in-person services. Everything else is done by video or telephone across the rest of Canada. And we're starting to get more requests, and we're flying interpreters now to Toronto for the Ottawa Auditor General's office, or flying them out to Calgary because Calgary doesn't have interpreting services. Let alone when I left there was zero diversity, and now that's gaining. So if we can start having more people on the ground, so we can help more Department of Community Services, more community centers, more of the social enterprises. Anybody who's helping newcomers and anybody who is having that language barrier, that is our goal. We want to get ourselves out there known so people know that they can call us. My WhatsApp goes off, 500 million times a day.
I was going to ask you about that because I know WhatsApp was the initial link between immigrants and us in the Western society. When it came out, I want to say 7 years ago, it came out hard. And that would have been your platform right from the beginning. So yours must be like insane with the area codes.
I do. I get messages from all over the world saying, "Can you help me?" Or people looking to apply for a job. I get a lot of immigration requests, which unfortunately I can't do.
Yeah.
I've already brought in somebody through the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that she's settled first
before you step out to the next. Yeah.
Right. And she was a single mother and child leaving a bad situation that we sponsored in. Yeah. So we just want to continue to help people. And if we have more people on the ground in other provinces, that we can continue. But Halifax will always be my home. It'll always be our headquarters, and it'll always be where the magic started.
Absolutely.
And I can't say enough about the people of Nova Scotia. Yes, we have our issues like every other province and every other country in the world.
That's normal.
That is normal. And I hate to say this, but if you've seen what was happening in some other countries,
you would step back and be like,
you would step back and think. Maybe
literally.
You would look at your neighbor or somebody
a little bit
that
differently.
That's doing stuff different. You might have that openness. And that's all we want to do. We approach everything with kindness.
You do.
And that's what I do in my life personally, too. I've had enough heartache that I avoid negative people. I avoid drama. I don't allow it in my workplace. I have let interpreters go for, clapping back at me for certain stuff. And it's like, don't clap back at me and don't talk to me like that.
Yeah, no, it's because you're not going to bully me and I'm the boss.
You're not going to bully me.
It doesn't work that way.
Yes, I'm smaller than you and tiny, but I'm way louder than you.
I mean, you are tiny. Give it credit. You are tiny. You are small. So they probably took advantage of that, but no.
Yeah, they call me Mighty Mouse.
Yes, you're something because if you guys could see her stand up, she's very, very petite, but like, don't get that twisted. Like,
don't get
as soon as you rub it the wrong way,
that's right.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess for me, everything makes sense now after speaking to you. Just from the beginning of your hum, it played a role in everything that you're doing today.
Absolutely.
Like I promise you, like we don't realize why we're doing what we're doing the way we're doing it until you actually step back and realize this has always been.
You're right.
Why
I could have been
all kinds, different things. Yes, you could have been,
but I'm not. I'm a queen.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that for you, and I love it for your team. I love it for the women. Hopefully, I can meet some of your women, even if on Zoom. I would love to say hello and say kudos to them for taking a chance on you and them taking a chance on them. So it works out well. You have any last words for the listeners or our audience? What you would want them to remember Katie Kelley by?
Kindness. I want you to go into your communities and I want you to get to know your neighbors. You can start, it all starts with a smile. Even if they don't speak English, a smile is universal. And it can set the stage for a brilliant friendship, a brilliant collaboration. And oh my gosh, you might even be lucky enough to get invited over for dinner for some amazing food.
I want to get invited for some amazing food.
Right. Right. I know some people.
Yeah. People, let me know. And I'll let you know the people I know we can connect. And I do like that about what you just said, because one thing I say to a lot of my friends and they get so annoyed, I'm like, yo, a smile doesn't cost nothing.
It's free.
It's free.
It's free.
Smile.
And it's so powerful.
You don't know what that can do for somebody. And I love what you said. It's universal. So I'm going to steal that from you and start using that, because no matter what language, what culture, where you're from in this world, a smile means the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It absolutely does.
I'm going to use it. Don't be mad at me if you see a post about that, or if I do a video on it and I'm like, a smile is universal. I will make sure I tag you in it. I'll make sure I'll give you credit in it. We're at the end of it. Before we go, I want you to let everybody know where they can find you if they're looking for interpretation services, or looking for supports, or looking for any information on what you do. Where can they find you, girl?
So they can reach out to our website. They can find us at maritimeinterpreting.ca.
Which is very accessible. Like the website is streamless. I will say, I looked at it last night.
You can order services through there. Our dispatch coordinator, Hala, is quite responsive. She's happy to answer any questions you have. Hala does not speak English, so Hala does not look after the phones.
That's all right.
And but she's amazing at what she does behind the scenes for us, and we couldn't do what we do without her. Or you can just call us. We've got one of those nice 782 area codes.
Wow.
782-414-1211.
Wow. I'm so happy I know you, actually, though. I can't wait to see where your business goes in another 3 to 5. Like, I'd be like, yo, I know that bitch. I know her. I know her. Congratulations on everything you're doing. Congratulations to your team. And even the 4 men, congratulations for sticking around and being around empowered women. So we are at the end of Identity Shift, guys. I know you're like, oh, we wanted more. Well, if you want more, make sure you tune in next Friday at 12 p.m. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Spotify. And just go look for us. See you guys later. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Identity Shift. See everybody next week.